Good morning. My name is Phil English. I'm a probation officer here with the Riverside County Probation Department. And in this video, I'll just kind of give you a brief summary of what I do, how I got to the department, my education, my background, and kind of why I recommend you take a look at the probation department as a whole. So like I said, my name is Phil English. My technical title is a Deputy Probation Officer 2. I work here with the Riverside County Probation Department. I'm fairly new. I've only been here about a year and 4 months, but I've been able to pick up a lot and learn a lot, especially with the type of assignment that I have currently. And so just to give you a little bit of kind of background of myself, probation was never on my radar. I actually several years ago wanted to become a police officer, like many do, and I actually put myself through a police academy. I started the whole hiring process with several different agencies or departments. At the time, there was a hiring freeze, so I got pretty far with a handful of departments. I got hired on actually, but at the time, in the transition between being hired on, having to do more training before I could start, I made a personal decision for many different reasons at the time to pull away from pursuing that career path, and ended up going back to school and working full-time for several years in the private sector, actually in the motorsports world, where my side kind of passion lies. So I went back to school, as I mentioned, and I pursued a associate's degree in administration of justice, and then from there I wanted to do something a little different, something that was versatile, that I can use in the business world that I was working in, and that kind of had a lot to do with writing, which I seem to excel in. So I went and I got a degree in communications with an emphasis in public relations. It was able to help me tremendously in the work that I was doing for several years with a couple different companies. It gave me it helped me with a good understanding of business, with how to communicate with people, via several different mediums, be it the spoken word, on the phone, email, different marketing avenues, advertising avenues, and so on. So I enjoyed getting that degree. I think it was a great fit for me, and so I've been able to utilize a lot of those, even just the little minute skills that come with the writing and the techniques that I learned, even onto today, into the public sector, into a people business, if so to speak, with the probation department. So that's kind of my background. So it wasn't until actually just about a year prior to getting hired on that I actually was turned on to the probation department. Before then, it was never really on my radar, as I mentioned. It was a police officer buddy that turned me on to it. He said, "Hey, look into it. I think it'd fit kind of what you're looking for. Good family life, work-life balance, and good for your family, and gets you back into the law enforcement aspect that you've kind of never really lost the itch of." And so I looked into it. I started actually volunteering at a youth facility with a different agency or different department, and saw that Riverside County was hiring. Took a chance, and here I am a year and 4 months later, working an adult supervision assignment in an AB 109 caseload, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. So not to say it's not challenging, it is. But it's been a good run so far, and I look forward to many more years with the department. So I mentioned I have an adult supervision caseload. That's kind of where I'm at right now. It's actually something that I wanted to do starting out, so I was fortunate enough to get this assignment. But probation is not just that. Probation has several different factors that would take a long time to describe or to break down. But just a general idea of probation is that we serve the courts, from juvenile to adult supervision, juvenile youth facilities where they're in custody. We serve the courts in the courts. We have probation officers assigned to court positions for several different reasons, including pre-trial and sentencing investigations. So the list goes on, and probation is actually very multifaceted, and there's a lot that probation does within the court system, within the community, and on top of that, we give back a lot. We serve our clients and their families and the community as a whole. So what I would recommend to someone that's never really heard of probation, or even if you have, just give it a deeper look. If you want to speak with me, a little more in depth, I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And if I don't have an answer for you, I'd definitely get back to you with an answer.